Day to Miss Right. My name is Ezra Anderson. Today I will present my overall reflection on my reflective practice experience based on the reflective logbook that I completed for assignment 1. So, for assignment 1, I completed a reflective logbook for selected weeks using Gibbs reflective cycle. For example, in week 3, I reflected on missing class due to a volleyball tournament. And in week 5, I reflected on seeking advice from my mother when I felt unwell. These experiences allow me to reflect on my emotions, thinking patterns, and decision making. So, pattern that I notice is in my reflections is that I tend to overthink situations, especially when I face uncertainty. For example, in week 3, when I missed class, I immediately assumed that I would fall behind and be excluded from group work, even though this had not actually happened yet. For emotions and behavior, emotionally, I often experience stress and anxiety at the beginning of the situation. For example, in week 3, I felt anxious and distracted because I was unsure about the lesson and assignments. However, after reflecting, I learned to manage my emotions better instead of letting fear control my behavior. Next, what surprised me? One thing that surprised me was realizing that most of my worries were based on assumptions. For example, after reflecting on week 3, I realized that missing one class did not actually cause the problem I feared. Simple communication could have reduced my stress. Next, for the decision making and problem solving, reflective practice and improve my decision making by encouraging me to be more proactive. For example, after week 3, I plan to inform lecturers and classmates early if I am absent, instead of waiting and worrying. This helped me solve problems more effectively. Move to personal, social, and academic growth. So, reflective practice supported my growth in different areas. Like personally, I became more aware of my emotions. Socially, I learned the importance of communication, such as contacting classmates earlier when I'm not attending class. So academically, I became more responsible in balancing studies and co-curricular activities. And my favorite reflection entry, which is week 5, where I reflected on my interaction with mother. For example, when I felt unwell that day and unsure whether I have to attend the class or not, talking to her helped me calm down and make balanced decisions. This reflection reminded me of the importance of emotional support and seeking guidance. So we move to the most challenging reflections is week 3, because I had to reflect on my anxiety and fear of missing out. And for example, I realized that my stress came from overthinking rather than the situation itself. It was challenging because it forced me to confront my own thinking patterns. So for the values and beliefs, through my reflections, values such as responsibility, communication, and balance become clear. For example, week 3 taught me that being responsible includes informing others early, while 5 showed me the value of listening to trusted advice. Relationships with others, I notice positive changes in how I relate to others. For example, I became more open with peers about academic matters, more proactive in contacting trust, and more appreciative of my family's support. The most useful part of this reflective cycle for me was the action plan stage, which after week 3, I created a clear plan to communicate early and manage my time better, which helped reduce my stress in later situations. So, for the future of reflective practice, I plan to continue effective practice beyond this course. For example, I can use reflection to evaluate my academic progress, manage stress, and improve my leadership skill in future group or organizational roles. In conclusion, reflective practice helped me understand myself better, manage my emotions, and improve my decision making by reflecting on real experiences such as missing class and seeking family advice. I experienced meaningful personal and social academic growth. That's all from me. Thank you.